this project, we had to design a vehicle that would carry a tennis ball up a ramp of 4 feet and then down that ramp 4 feet. And we had to use a budget of $20, 3 digitally fabricated parts, which means that 3 of our parts had to be designed via the laser cutter or the 3D printer, and our vehicle had to have its own propulsion method that was like on the car.
And grip on the axle.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot better than string.
Sketchy or something.
With like a rubber band, so like the wheels move together.
Yes, but how is it going to rotate?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
Take a little cardboard.
Leather top, like
We made the car box so that we didn't have to put it on top.
Yeah, that's that box and then connect the little.
So we came up with 3 different ideas yesterday, but the one we're going to start with is using elastic propulsion to move our tennis ball car forward. So we would use the elastic with the wheel and axle system, and we would use a base with a box that holds a tennis ball on top of the base.
3 ideas. The first one is like the mousetrap vehicle, and I think that's what we're going to go with. The second idea is the gravity vehicle, kind of like we did with the wheel and axle. And the third idea is the rubber band powered vehicle. So, and we're going to see which one works the best. Right now, we're going to go with the mousetrap vehicle.
Okay, so our design for right now is we are going to use a motor like this, and then we're going to have gears connected to our axle system that will propel our car forward. Oh, it's working. It works.
Challenge on Megan face right now. The stick is when we pull the mousetrap forward, this will be the one to pull back to move the wheels. So we attached it with tape, but it's too flimsy. So we came up with the idea to hot glue it on instead of tape it on, because this stick can't come off.
So in order to get our wheels to stay on the axle, we custom made these hubcaps that we're going to print using the 3D printer, and they have a little hole inside so that the axle will fit into them and they'll secure the wheel and the axle.
I'm designing our hubcaps for our vehicle to keep our wheels on the axle.
I know how to make them stop and stare as I zone out. The clock ain't even handle me right now. Watching me, I go all out. The clock ain't even handle me right now.
So right now we're trying to figure out which of the 2 rubber bands to attach to the bottom to have a greater force, and which one will push the car forward.
So we're trying to use this device to get the car to move, but the problem is we originally tried using a motor against this to get it to move, but the problem is with the gear ratio, and we're getting a lot of rotations out of this if we were to attach our wheels to here. So we're going to now try to attach a motor here, because this allows, and use this as a wheel because it allows more rotation.
First we tried our band to pull the axle together, but we realized that it absorbs the energy when you pull it. So we're actually going to use string because it's a lot more stronger, so it would actually give it more of a pull.
design something for our car to keep the wheels off the edge.
Alright, so after we kind of figured out how to use this motor to get it attached here to get this wheel moving, the only problem we had is this: if this would ever rotate, which we would do if you don't hold it down, there wouldn't be any motion going on here and the wheel wouldn't move. So now we're just trying to figure out how to get it to stay down here. I think we're going to try duct taping it to keep it solid.
Okay, we tested this car and it did work with a tennis ball, but once we added the tennis ball, there was too much weight and added to it. So we're gonna
Added another mousetrap to add more force to get it over, because the one mousetrap wasn't powerful enough to get our axle system over the hill.
We were using a motor as well as with some gears and a wheel, but there wasn't enough power and the weight was too much on the motor, so we weren't able to get it to work. So now we're going to our backup idea, which is a rubber band car.
In the process of changing our propulsion system from a motor system to a rubber band system, so we have to change our whole axle system.
Out with our car, it's important when we're winding up the elastic that it's not close to the straws, so when it pushes off it doesn't cause friction with the straws against it.
We just realized in our vehicle that the front wheels axle has too much room to move, so we have to make sure that the wheels are aligned so it goes straight.